Thank you for watching Truth and Justice with Vivian King. It's my pleasure tonight to do my favorite thing of the week, and that is Truth and Justice with Vivian King. It's where I try to educate people about the criminal justice system through stories so that it's interesting. People call, they want to tell their story so that you can debate it, you can watch it, you can guess about it, and you can call in and talk about it. Our call-in number is 713-807-1794. Tonight in the studio, I have Mr. Johnathan Hunt. Mr. Hunt is a little frustrated because he wants to know, why am I still on parole? He got a 25-year sentence in 1989, and he's done a total of about 19 years. Normally, you'd be off parole after the 25 years is up, which would have been 2014, but he's still on parole. He wants to know why. I can't answer that question. I'm not here to give legal advice. I'm here to tell his story, to shine a light on our criminal justice system. Since we pay for it, we need to understand it. I also have in the studio Mr. Danny Sneed from the Path to Freedom at St. John's United Methodist Church at 2019 Crawford Street, an organization that I support, as I'm a member also at St. John's. So, Johnathan, thank you for calling and wanting to come in and tell your story, and for us to explore the reasons why you're still on parole. As I told you before, I have never been a parole lawyer. I'm now a proud member of the Harris County District Attorney's Office, happy that I have a constitutional right to free speech and that I can still do my hobby, what I love, bringing education to citizens. So anything I say is not a reflection of Kim Ogg or her administration or necessarily my views, but it's my exercise of free speech with my friends in the community. Johnathan, I know you don't want to beat a dead horse to death, but tell us about yourself. I know that before we got on the air, you told me that you were from Houston and you went to Worthing and Milby High Schools. So how was high school? You're 6'6", so was high school basketball, or was high school education, or was high school skipping school? What was high school to you?
A little mixture of all of that. All of that. I was born and raised in Sunnyside, so I went to Attucks Junior High, which was a breeding ground for young criminals. And I didn't commit criminal acts when I was a juvenile, but I did skip a bunch of school. You know, I did the thing that we did. We smoked a little weed. We, did what we did. But it taught me, it taught me the difference in our society, And, I've also went to schools in the upper echelon, so we see how different folks got educated, whereas some of us get indoctrinated, and it's a big difference there, Your mom always tell you, do what they tell you, do what they tell you, do what they tell you. Why does the next person get to do what he chooses to do and then tell you what to do while he do what he want to do? So
it is a big part of life. We have the authoritative figures, and then we have the rest of us, and most of us are not the authority. Most of us have to do what the authority tells us to do, including me. And I'm older than you.
I understand that.
So, it can be frustrating, but, one of the ways I satisfy it is that we have to live with rules and laws so that everybody can enjoy health, education, and, the right to try to be free. But then, I do think that the system people need to know about it so that we can make sure that we vote, we make sure that we have the right people in office, because voting does matter. The right people are in office. There wouldn't be so much talk right now in 2017 about national elections and about voter registration and turning in our voter records to Washington, D.C., if voting didn't matter. So don't be fooled. I know a lot of people who feel defeated in our community say, oh, those people are going to do what they want to do. They only do what you let them do.
Exactly.
And when we don't vote and when we don't participate, we're condoning the system instead of trying to be what America's supposed to be, where everyone participates in it. So tell me, you said one thing we have to tell you is that Johnathan does not have a juvenile record. He never got in trouble as a juvenile, and seemed to be just a typical kind of mischievous young man and even went into the military in 1982. Is that correct? United States Army.
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
Danny also was in the Army.
Okay.
And joined the same year.
All right, and then let's see about this. Mr. Johnathan left the military after 4 years in 1986, and he served in Germany when they still had the wall up.
Okay.
Is that right? Did I get that right?
Oh, yeah, it's a very interesting time, too.
You saw the Berlin Wall?
Yes, we did the tour. They would give us these tours. And the thing about it, once we go to another arena, so say.
Now you mean another arena in Germany or in another country?
In another country, another economy. You go to another place and you see how things are done differently than here. Our ideologies, you know, I guess civilizations or empires rise, but they can only stay on top for so long because they fall. And the United States of America, we've been on top for a minute or two. We've had to step on quite a few people in order to get where we are.
Yep.
We have to continue to do that today in order to stay where we are.
That's true.
And so we drop bombs on everybody, but somebody comes to America and pop a firecracker and they call them a terrorist.
Right.
You know, but it's legal for us to go and bomb everybody and murder like we want to. But now if I murder in my own self-defense, you're gonna lock me up.
Yeah.
But now if I kill in the name of the government, then I'm doing my patriotic duty.
And you told me off air that you had you came to a moral conclusion that killing is wrong, and that if America asked you to kill, that would be wrong. Is that? Then you came to a moral conclusion?
Yeah, well, that's true if America asked me to kill. But now if somebody get out of line with me and force me to, I'll have to do them. Yeah, I would want to, but I'd have to.
Right.
I mean, because that's just survival.
Yes, sir. And I want to talk about your military service. So you came to a moral conclusion. Am I correct?
Exactly.
And after 4 years, in 1986, and you just, you know.
That our politics are wrong. We say one thing over here, but we're doing something else over there, where our people can't see it. So we indoctrinate them with this one-eyed monster here, this devil. You know, we put it in their mind.
Now remember what I told you off air with TV and education. You have to give us your thought process behind it, because you're giving us a lot of conclusions, because you've thought about this since 1982, and this is 2017. Okay. So tell the viewers a little bit about your experience that makes you feel that way.
Well, let's take for instance,
what you saw.
When I went to Germany. There's particular things that our soldiers would do in the streets. One of us would get hurt. Hell, we'd go out and we'd hurt 10 of them, you know. And these are citizens.
Tell me when you mean we get hurt. How do we get hurt?
Different things. Like I said, in that theater, you had different groups operating.
Give me one real example.
Well, you had one particular dude, some Africans over there, kidnapped one of our soldiers because we were Americans. We were at their house. They picked the dude up, took him off. When they brought him back, he was a mess. He was raggedy. They dropped him at the gates.
Now, raggedy means he was beat up and his torn clothes?
I don't know if he survived or not. All I know is they got him to the hospital.
But he was a soldier?
Yeah, he was a soldier. And they would do this. So, you know, you automatically, your hackles get up. You got the United States American government behind you. Well, you get into a pack and you ride down on whoever you come across. You know, now
they're... Be more specific, please.
Well, if you go to the club and you just find a German or somebody or whatever, you know.
Or African? You said it was African that did it.
It don't matter who you come across. You just do stuff. You know, young man, you don't care. You get out there, you just want to pay somebody back. It don't matter who get paid, you know. And this is not correct.
That's your socializing. What about your actual military service, what you were asked to do by the United States government?
Well, the thing that we were asked is like when the people in Germany, when they protested us moving those intercontinental, those ICBMs, those missiles, when we moved those missiles...
Well, now this is 82?
This is back then. When they moved the missiles through the streets, the Germans would protest. All right, nuclear waste and stuff like that. When they moved that, the Germans would protest. Now we'd get back and they'd arm us and this, that, and other, and they would lock.
Get back where?
Well, they're in the compound. They lock us in the compounds. We got M16s, this, that, and other. These people are expressing their right to say what you're doing in my house is wrong.
And you mean in your country?
In their country.
Okay. You're
in my house. You are the visitor here, but you're the occupier. But what you're doing is wrong. You dumping your trash in my front yard.
And these were this was the
German citizens.
Right. I'm trying to think of what's the trash they were occupying.
Well, nuclear waste. Okay. You know, you can't do nothing to dispose of nuclear waste. I don't think we still found any way to properly get.
How were y'all disposing of the nuclear waste?
Well, they would move it. I don't know how they did it. They would move it though. When they move it to the streets, you know, they only give us little soldiers so much information. But when they moved it through the streets,
but did you ever have to participate in moving it?
No. I had to participate in keeping the people in line. This is the part that I didn't like, you know, because you're allowed to do whatever you do, whether you bash them with the M16 or whatever it is that you do, but you got the government behind you. And what I'm saying is, you are out of place in these people's house, and you're handling it. It's like if somebody comes to your house and just...
You're manhandling them.
Exactly.
Can I put some perspective on that? Because I was stationed in Korea, and anytime you're overseas, you're the minority. So like currently in Korea, it's only 25,000 troops there. So when I was there, the younger...
And what years were those?
I was there from 85 to 86.
Okay.
And I also joined in 82 and got out in 86. And I was looking at his, and there was some irony there. But a lot of the things are pretty much similar from when you're a veteran stationed overseas and you're in a different country. Not everybody there is going to welcome you there.
Right.
Right.
So you're going to have different views. And so in Korea, you had the younger people coming up saying that it was a pride thing with them. We don't want y'all over here babysitting us, standing between us and North Korea. If they get out of line, we're going to handle them. That was just their thinking, the younger people. They didn't understand the bigger perspective is we were there as peacekeepers more than as babysitting. But, you know, that was their opinion. So I can see in Germany, not everybody's going to welcome an outsider in. Right. And on a big scale in the country, that's where America gets the backlash as being a babysitter, a big daddy, like always the moral authority in the world. Not everybody believes that that's our position and that's our right, and I digress.
Exactly. So if I don't want you coming to my house and dirtying up my dishes and leaving them dirty and doing what it is that then I shouldn't go to your house and do it. I don't think America would like a Korean, a German, a Japanese, or anybody else to come to America and tell them what to do. I think we tear this place down because our egos are too big.
We tear it up.
45 years after Hitler, why are you still in Germany? Right. It's not about.
We're still in Germany.
It's not about
we're
peace.
Still in Germany.
It's an easy answer to that. Because if we're not there, the Russians will be there.
Exactly.
We want to be there so we have a place to launch troops and missiles from a strategic location. Okay. We have to be placed in places that we can mobilize anywhere in the country. So when you look at the world, it's places that we want to occupy to be able to bring resources from over there to where you don't have to worry about going over there and saying, let's make a landing field, let's bring in troops. You want to always be there.
But now, the things that we were taught as babies, remember, we are American citizens. We believe in Jesus Christ. We're going to do the right thing, this, that, and other. Now, why do I always want to keep a bomb close to somebody to drop on? If I'm going to do the right thing, then I should leave. This is where my morals kicked in at that particular point in time because I was taught one particular thing, but now we're perpetuating something else. Now, everything is about violence. We are extremely violent. So we are a savage society, and we're proud of it. You know, we just had the 4th of July where we talking about the rockets, red glare, and the bombs bursting in there. We celebrate.
We're violent.
We celebrate our savagery, you know. But now, if I'm a correct human being, and this is where our morals kick in, this is where after we get to a certain level of our understanding, I don't have to be a violent aggressor in order to lead the way. Now, if I'm doing the correct thing, everyone will follow me. And I found this out in prison, you know, because...
You're skipping.
Okay.
Skipping. I'm trying to do it in chronological order. Well, you're getting to prison. Hold that thought. If you're doing the right thing, people will follow you, even in prison. So in 1986, when you came to a moral conclusion that the war was wrong, you didn't re-enlist, you got out. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then what did you do after that? I mean, when you came home, are you a little thrown off in the brain? You thinking, I mean, because you got this moral conclusion that you're coming to, but yet then you come and become a car thief.
I went to work at a car lot. I went to work, and hell, I thought I was doing all right, but it's just, I don't know, I felt like protesting. And I just didn't exactly know how. And I said, well, here I am giving my taxpaying dollars. You taking this money, and see, when you look at your check, and you see that the federal government is taking what they want out of yours to do what they want to do, and the politicians don't know what to do with my money. I mean, well, I'm not going to pay taxes.
You are absolutely right.
I'm not going to pay taxes no more. To hell with that. I'm finna do something different.
So you had another moral conclusion?
Yeah, I call it situational ethics.
All right, let me write that down. Yes, situational ethics.
So my partners were stealing cars, but they were only taking the tires and the T-tops and the radio, but hell, I found a use for the entire car, the front end, the motor, the transmission, all of that would go. And the insurance companies would buy it, and they'd sell it and put it right back on the exact same car.
How do you know that?
Well, I got a chance to see a little bit of that operation too.
But tell me why you had the moral conclusion in prison. That's against violence. You had the situational ethics when it came to paying your, getting the IRS. your employer taking the insurance, the Social Security and the FICA,
Right.
away from you. I can understand that. But then you didn't have a problem with taking people's cars.
So theft was a moral issue.
Exactly.
But it is moral.
Exactly.
So I'm just trying to figure out where were your morals
hold on.
there.
And
Hold on.
listen,
Let me just finish asking the question. You got it. But were you thinking that if I take Vivian's car, not that you know me, but her insurance will pay it
Yeah,
back?
that's exactly what I thought.
Because that's what a lot of my old clients used to tell me.
I'm gonna inconvenience you for a minute.
But what if I let my insurance lapse because I couldn't pay it?
Okay, well,
And then I just lost.
all I could do is apologize.
Okay.
I didn't mean to hurt you like that. But
Okay.
I didn't
You
want to
apologize to everybody? Okay, he's
I'm
apologizing.
sorry, y'all.
He's apologizing. Okay, but I'm just letting you know because that's a lot of my
Exactly.
18 and 19-year-old clients would tell me, well, I needed it more than he did, and they just going to get it back, and they just don't understand that most people in America, since you understand America's premise, is just a very little 1% that's mega rich.
That's correct.
Everybody else who's working their asses off,
That's correct.
driving from Kingwood, the Woodlands, everybody's driving in, are barely making it, and most people are upside down in their cars.
That's correct.
You should have learned that when you were selling cars.
But-
Because when they come to trade it in, a lot of them owe more than they owe more on the car than it's
Exactly.
worth. And so, and a lot of people are riding around and they make those initial insurance payments to buy that car, and then as people get broke, they let insurance lapse.
Yeah.
But you weren't thinking that then, I know.
Well, but
I just had to say that.
and it was you're correct. I've had that same.
And even if they are, the insurance is still not enough to put them back where they were. So then most people have to buy a brand new car, and they still owe the debt from the old one. So if they upside down and they minus 500, they buy a brand new car. They just got to start from scratch. No down payment, no nothing.
And you're correct. And I apologize to the world but now
For being a car thief in the 80s,
At this particular point in time, but then I graduated to where hell I had salesmen at the lot would go and get me the cars off the back lot, and it got easier because all I had to do then was just put them and park them and transfer them.
So then when you did that, then the car dealership lost the money, but they had a bigger insurance policy.
Okay, see. So,
But still somebody lost.
And that's
because then that next
correct.
person they sell the car to, their car note went up
And the reason
insurance went up.
The reason I accepted my 25 years is because I know every time I stole a car, I was going against everything that I'd been taught.
Right.
It got easier over time. You find some substances to fix it and go to sleep at night. It's okay. But all of these things, and see, it took me to go to prison again to come to another moral conclusion.
Well, let's go to the first time you went to prison. So the first time you got caught, you got out of the Army in 1986, and then you told me off air that in 1986 was the first time you went to the county jail for auto theft, and
Right.
you did 6 months.
I used to go and drive my friends. Like I say, I didn't steal a car first.
Okay.
I would just drive them.
Drive stolen cars.
No, I'd drive them and take them, and they'd steal.
I see.
Then they'd come back, and I said, well, damn, you're getting all this money. It's all right. But I'm going to work every day. I think I was making, $6.25 hours, something like that.
okay.
Wasn't making very much, but I was working
More
every
than you
day.
made in prison.
I was working every day.
It was more than you made in prison.
Well, I ain't gonna just say that because prison is good business too. But we'll get to that in a minute. You can get anything you want in prison. But I was going to work every day, and
Boy, Danny, we got a slick one tonight, don't we?
Yeah, you need to as you follow, you should follow. You should have that.
Oh no, he told me already. Yeah.
But
We got a slick one tonight.
Well, you should see that from the bottom of the page where it begins.
Yeah, he's been there. He knows.
He did his 15 years.
You
Yeah,
get
he
your
knows,
needs
he
met.
knows.
Anything you can get in these streets, you can get it in the joint. But I went to work, but I'm watching these guys, and and then when I'm looking at this check, it's already not that much. But the little bit that they're taking, and I'm thinking about the 200 or so million of us across this country that the government is, and then you wasting the money. And you living like you want to live, but you telling me what to do. It's like the seatbelt law. You don't care whether I die in a crash, and you want to control me in my vehicle, And I protest that every time I get in because I'll cut the seatbelts out of it. I'm not going to wear it. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Well, because so many things are similar and to my own story. How I saw life in 1986 versus how I see life in 2017, such a big divide in my values and my morals and my belief system. As I got older,
you continue maturing.
Well, I can't see things like I saw them back then if I wanted to, because I just know so much more information. So what I'm asking you, based on how you looked at the government and authority and society as a whole back then, do you still have that view of society and the government today?
Well, I believe that now we are so regimented, you know. It's basically, the only thing a fella can do now is simply speak his peace. I'm not going to walk in nowhere and blow a bomb up, although I might feel that way. I won't do it because I know that morally...
Well, your history has not been violent.
No,
anyway.
I'm not a violent character.
I mean, you're not a violent guy. I mean, all of your thing has been auto theft. It's all just, it's theft when nobody's around.
And I love people. That's the reason I won't put a pistol in their face and take their money. I'm not going to hurt you about your money. I want to make sure that people didn't understand. He said he would not ever put a I'm not going to kick your door in and come in your house. I'm not going to do it. But now this automobile that's sitting there, it's kind of an inanimate object. It can stand what little pressure I'm going to put on it, you know. But
that was 30 years ago.
That was 30 years ago. And the only reason that I was doing that at that particular point in time is because I did not want to pay taxes to maintain a system that I did not believe in. Well, it took me a little while longer. As you say, we get to see differently. I learned later, whether you inside the system or outside the system, you still within the system and you going to still pay. Simple as that.
You're going to still pay. You paid with your life. You gave up your life. You gave up 19 years of your life behind auto theft. What's amazing to me is that you did so much time behind bars for a nonviolent offense.
Exactly.
Because prisons are not built for a punishment. They're built for profit.
That's it.
So I just became a product.
That's it.
But at least, Danny, your crimes were quote-unquote violent. Although nobody got hurt, it was robbery. You know, with his, it's just straight up.
But I really didn't know that it was a violent crime.
But the people that you robbed from did.
But really, I need to go on the record and saying I really thought I was like an actor. I thought it was really. Okay. I didn't really have
drugs that altered your mind like
No,
that?
I didn't have a really realistic view of what crime really meant to the victim.
Okay.
Let me set it up like this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I understand what I was doing, the risk versus reward. Yeah. I just saw it, what I was getting out of it. I never thought how it made you feel, how that experience made you feel when I took something from you. Or when you walk back in your home and it looked like you moved and you know you didn't participate in it. All your appliances are gone and your food in your refrigerator, you know, is gone. Like, this dude even took my food.
You didn't think about what it did to the victim.
But I went through a program called Bridges to Life. And what they did is they brought in victims in this group, and they told us how it made them feel. But these wasn't just any victims. They were victims of violent crimes. There were mothers that daughters were murdered. There was fathers that had lost children. And they came into prison, sat down across the table from them, and told them, after you did that, I wanted to commit suicide. I lost my job. I never was able to work again. Me and my wife got a divorce. You know, and so that resonated with me like, wow, I never thought about how my
ripple effect
victims had to live with that.
Their lives are never the same. Once they've been violated, the life that they thought their life was going to be will never be that life again.
Right.
Because they've been victimized. Even if you didn't kill them, even if you just hit somebody and took their purse,
made them unsafe.
They feel unsafe. They don't feel like they can walk down their street where they're following all the rules of life. So just like Johnathan was frustrated about what he learned and he had his moral conclusions. Just think about, a lot of people have that, but they still follow the rules. And so they're still like thinking the life's not fair, but I was taught this way and I'm not gonna violate that, I'm gonna go. And then somebody comes and disrupts my whole life by taking something from me that I've worked hard or hurting me. If you did it to somebody that was Hispanic or white, they might now hate black people. And you don't know why. Yeah. But it's because of that one experience. You didn't see it as a color crime. You just saw it as a crime of opportunity. But for them, they might never like somebody that looks like me or you again. And
when I went to prison, guess what I became?
What?
A victim.
I was just going to ask
you. So now I'm in prison, I'm the victim. I'm saying, look, why they do this to me?
Okay.
Look at society. They lock me up in a cage.
Right.
They making me shower with other men and live in a restroom with a man, and my family won't write me. So instead of me focusing on what I actually did and being accountable for what I did and thinking about how you felt, I'm in prison feeling sorry for me. I'm a victim. That's what perpetuated recidivism and me not allowing to change because I never saw myself as the offender. I always saw myself as the victim.
And that's kind of what you did. I don't know if you realize that, Johnathan.
I automatically went in and knew it because it's.
I mean, I'm just saying you saw yourself as the victim even when you. No. Let me just say this. Not in prison. I'm saying when you're still in the cars, because you could justify it by saying, well, they got insurance, it'll be recovered. So it's not like I just inconvenienced them one day without their car. They got insurance, it's gonna be repaid. So you see, you flipped the script. You made, you kind of acted like you're the victim. I needed it more than they did today, and I'm not gonna pay taxes. But you didn't see how you victimized them. Does that make sense?
That's correct. But the thing is, I was never a victim. I was breaking my own moral character every time I did this. I was beating myself up every time I did. But I did it because it's what I said. Well, okay, I'm gonna live as best I can today because I'm gonna die tomorrow. See, I never expected to be as old as I am now.
And you're 53, right?
53. I was supposed to have been dead since 17.
Okay,
I don't know
so when you made the choices, you thought that you would. Make sure I'm saying it not to tell your story, but to make sure I'm interpreting what you said correctly. You thought that if I go out and break my moral code and steal somebody's car, I'm gonna get shot doing it.
It's gonna happen, and that's.
And every night you're beating yourself. You're enjoying it, but you're beating yourself up.
And I got a payday coming, death or the penitentiary. Give it to me quick as I can get it. That was my thought process.
So let me tell you this: you went to prison. I mean, you went to the jail for auto theft in 1986, and then how did you escape 87 and 88? What happened?
Well, those
you were stealing cars, just getting away with it.
They were very good years.
Oh, because you were doing inside jobs.
We got an auto theft in '88.
Yeah.
Well, 88, 89 is the one that's what sent him in, but. 88, he got it, but I don't know if you noticed, it's dismissed.
Yeah, we got past that one.
We got past that one.
All them the ones I don't get convicted of, but I did.
Right.
And
so you didn't start doing drugs.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You didn't talk about
that when I was a kid. I started.
Well, you said you smoked weed.
Well, I did.
But a lot of these young people don't think weed is drugs.
I did cocaine before I ever did weed. I did that in elementary school. A teenager turned me. I was living in Fort Worth, and he had a long fingernail, somewhat like yours. And he
they did used to use that fingernail.
And he asked me if I wanted some coke, and I was kind of scared of him too, because he was a tough.
What age was this?
I think I was about 10 or 11.
That's unusual.
What city was this in?
Fort Worth, right over there in Stop 6. There's gunshots, all the Jesus. It was out of control. But I was living down there because I guess I was a handful for my mother, but and I went down there. But I learned my aunt used to have these teenagers that come through all the time. This was a gathering spot. And this dude named Ernest Hale, I believe he's dead now. But Ernest asked me if I wanted some Coke, and I'm thinking, well, what do? You just put water on it, because I'm used to Coke fizzling.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So the man, he dipped his little finger, and I feel like it knocked my eyeball out. I tooted that.
He said, put it like it knocked his eyeball out.
But now, and he told me, he said, well, just hold it, and I hit that, and I had to go in. But I'm a kid now, and this fella here, but now he's accepted me, but we were communicating a particular one. So we did this. Well, my partner, father sold weed. My partner.
In Fort Worth or here?
In Fort Worth. Well, he stayed on next street, and we all went to school together. His father sold weed, so he could go and tip. He was a little bit, if he go tip in and get us a chunk full, and then we go get on the roof and get blazed up and do our thing. We bought more cigarettes because we figured if we put our lunch money together, 3 of us put together on a pack, and the more cigarettes you get, well, they about this long. So
is that when you're still rolling weed in the little papers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you say cigarette now, these kids put it in Swisher Sweet. They buy cigarettes and put them in those cigars or something.
Right.
Yeah, they put it.
Smoke blunts.
But I'm talking about we used to buy the more cigarettes, because back then a kid, because 65 cents a pack, these kids still buy cigarettes. And we buy cigarettes and we get up on the roof and smoke weed and smoke cigarettes.
Isn't that funny how when we were growing up, people did get on roofs? Mm-hmm. We used to jump off roofs. Did y'all used to do that? We did that in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
Texarkana, Houston. We would jump.
Yeah.
We would sit up there, because they do it on TV all the time. So we'd sit up there on TV, and then people would see if they had the nerve to jump. We'd find a little soft spot to jump off houses. Kids would die if they did that.
Yeah, they too tender now.
They too tender. They too,
like wet toilet tissue now.
We used to jump off.
We would challenge ourselves to find ways to climb buildings that were unclimbable.
Right.
Exactly.
And then
we'll
y'all used to
walk
go
around
to schools and go down the fire escape, and then we would do like Superman. We would actually climb up, and we wouldn't even, you know how you're supposed to climb up the barrel? We would climb up the sideways to show how athletic we were to go down. We did that.
I'm going to tell you what we did once.
And we would get cut because they would be kind of stiff and metally and hurt, and we would get all cut up doing it, but we do it.
Well, the crazy thing we did, we broke into this facility. What's the statute of limitation on breaking in?
Okay,
Okay, I'm good?
5 years.
You good.
Okay, I'm good. So we broke in this building, and we didn't know what we was breaking in it for. Just how bad kids do.
Just to get in.
Bad.
Like, we'll figure it out when we go in there. So we broke in. First thing we do is go to the candy machine and the soda machine.
Don't tell me you broke into the candy machine.
We can't get in. Like, it don't matter if it's inside of a building or outside of a building. You still can't get in the machines, but we kids. Yeah. So we go to the soda and candy machine.
You trying to shake it? That's all you can do as a kid.
I mean, we're a kid. You can shake it in the little
Maybe
spiral.
something,
You know, something gonna fall out. You may get that.
You're gonna try it.
So we ain't walking around, and it's a lumber mill place. So really, lumber, we can't take no lumber back home and sell it.
Ain't nothing that
so
valuable.
Somebody found a fire extinguisher.
Oh my God.
And they started shooting it at
Oh
us,
my God.
chasing us. So everybody got fire extinguishers, and we just chasing each other around.
Fire extinguisher war.
So we in this place. We breaking it and fighting. The burglary bedroom was 2 to 10.
It's 2 to 20.
Back then it was 2 to 10.
Okay.
I didn't know that then. I was a kid, but as you go through the criminal justice, you learn the statutes of what to do and what not to do. So we just had a fire extinguisher war. And we just spent hours in there.
Enough of that child's play. So in 1989, you get convicted of conspiracy to commit auto theft, and that's where you get 25 years. Was there a trial or not?
No, we stopped.
Did you have
we
a
started.
court-appointed lawyer, or did you hire a lawyer?
I hired a lawyer. We started and we stopped.
Do you remember who your lawyer was?
Yeah, I remember who we were.
Okay, I'm not asking you to say his name. I'm just asking you, do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
So you were balling enough to hire your own lawyer.
Yeah.
And I thought you told me off air you started a trial with a jury. Do you remember if you ever started the jury selection?
We stopped it. We had got halfway, but we stopped it. Like he told me, it's best to stop it.
Did you answer my question, yes or no? Did you get to jury selection?
Yes, we had done all that. We were
Did any witnesses raise their right hand and take the witness stand?
Yes, and I was one of them.
Oh, you got to take the witness stand.
I was one of them.
You got that far.
Yeah. But what happened is, something, like I said, some information came up that he figured it was best that we stop it.
And take a plea.
Take the deal.
Now, before you went to trial, do you remember if you were offered 25 years or less?
I was offered 4 years.
Oh, my God.
But I was an honorary character, and there was other people that were involved.
You hear what he said? Listen to me. He was offered 4 years, and he knew he had been stealing cars for years.
Exactly.
And he was an honorary character, and so now he's in trial, and he ends up having to plead guilty to 25 years, 1 more years. All right, I just wanted to make sure that was clear in our educational show.
But the thing about it, had I taken the 4 years, I would have had to
come back.
I'd have had to break my moral code because I got to do some snitching, and see, a snitch is supposed to die quick as he tells.
Oh, you weren't gonna snitch?
No, I ain't gonna do no telling. And so I told him, well, I took the responsibility for all the other people. Everybody else got time served. Then the only reason
why did you accept responsibility for the group?
Because I was at the top of the pile. But the situation became from the 4, and this is where it went left, because after there were 5 other people that got cut loose. Now, when
come on back with us, Danny. Come on.
Okay.
When they cut those people loose, she went from the 4. I said, well, I can't give you 4 now. I got to give you 12. I said, well, I'm not taking no 12. The deal was 4. She said, well, I can't give you no for all these here people. I said, well, they cut loose now. Well, one thing led to another, and she said, well, I'm not gonna cooperate. It's simply that you don't have a lug nut, you ain't got a radio knob, you ain't got jack. But she got a system that's bigger than me.
It's so hard to tell people that.
Well, I didn't mind.
Okay.
Give me life. I don't care. But I earned it. That's the thing. And see, I guess I'm just, that's the way I see it.
So when you got the 25 years, when you went ahead and signed for 25, you are man enough to accept responsibility.
Exactly.
Is that what I hear you
I did this.
You did it.
I did this.
You did it to yourself.
If it go good, it's because I made it go good. If it go twisted, it's because I let it go twisted.
So you
That's
were man
my
enough
motto.
to do that.
That's it.
Now that's
prison of death.
Huh?
Prison of death. I know what's coming to me.
Okay.
I'm doing this every day, but I'm expecting 1 or 2 in order to save me from what it is that I'm doing. See, so
So you got the long road.
I got a question.
You got the long road home.
But in hindsight, when you're in TDC, and because when you took the 25, that's your first time going to prison, right?
No, it was the first, yeah, because I I did county.
So once you got there, was there any other time that you had regret that like this didn't work out?
No, I had a bunch of fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. Prison was fun. Prison was fun.
No, that is true. That is true.
Fun.
You heard me say it.
Oh, I hate this. I don't want to hear this.
No.
I don't want to hear it was fun. I don't want to hear
No,
this.
you gotta say put it in perspective what fun is.
Exactly.
Fun is that my life compared to where I was out there when I'm in here, I'm finding more peace here that I couldn't maybe find out in society. And my dad told me what the problem was with me was responsibility. The level of responsibility required to be an adult, a man in society. I was trying to escape it. And so prison, once I was there, it was a way to say like, oh man, now I don't have to have all these lists of things that I have to do and get right to be successful and or to be accepted. You got to be at this level for everybody to approve you and accept. You got to be constantly working and consistent at it. And so when I saw I couldn't be consistent at it and I wasn't getting it right, and I found myself inside the criminal justice system with a lot of my peers, a lot of other men. We were younger, so we spent a lot of time playing dominoes, watching Maury, watching Young and the Restless, playing ping pong, dominoes. We lifting weights. So really,
but y'all had to work too, didn't you?
I mean, what is work? Work was sweeping, mopping. It wasn't like you was building houses or construction. Some part of the
You're losing your life.
But you have to be aware that you had a life
to lose.
To lose.
Gotcha.
And the thing about it is you're not alone. I was on a unit with 5,000 other men that were there with me. And nobody was crying and complaining.
Exactly.
We all put this mask on that, man, this is the time of our life. We share stories. Like if I would have met him, he's 53, we're the same exact age. We'd have been best friends because we both were in the military.
Right.
So we'd have drunk coffee together, shared our war stories, and never really grasped the reality of what we are and
or
why
maybe you're I mean, man has a natural protection. You know.
Let's remember, we gotta keep our game face on.
We gotta keep our game face on.
I had a little bit different perspective because I went to a max. I was lucky. I whooped a lieutenant on I left Hilltop. I went, where was I at? Gib Lewis. Whooped this lieutenant about, I'm buying commissary, he's gonna tell me everything, and he gonna put his hands on.
Tell the story a little bit more.
Well, I'm trying to buy my commissary and spend my money, and this sucker gonna tell me how to spend my money.
Oh, wow.
And the people I said, well, just put it all back, and I don't want it. So they telling me what they don't have and what they gonna, I don't want it. Put it back. So he tells me that and the man put his hands on me. And I put all my hands on him. Well, the stormtroopers come and whooped me too, but you know, I went to sleep about 2 weeks after that. But anyhow.
They whooped you good, didn't they?
Yeah.
If you went to sleep for 2 weeks.
But a good one is a good one, you know. I can take it just like I can give it. But at that particular point in time, they sent me from there.
Maybe that's why you got 9 extra years.
No, that was because there wasn't nothing but a major case at the time.
Okay.
That's it. Striking an officer. Now they want to give them time and this, that,
Right,
and other,
they take you to the county if you do that now.
Right,
It's another charge.
They didn't do that
but the officers was men too. They'll take their shirt off and go to the gym with you, and you get it on. But y'all gonna be all right tomorrow.
That was
you men, yeah.
Right.
I hate to call them punks, but that's what they about pretend there's wet toilet tissue down there now.
They got to shoot you now.
It ain't no fun no more.
Yeah,
they can't fight.
They can't fight.
But I was fortunate enough to go to a maximum security unit. From there,
where was that?
To the wind farm. All the building tenants and turnkeys. This was their retirement unit. So it's a bunch of old street, bunch of characters, and I just love them to death. You know, they was a lot older than me. I was a younger one on the farm, so I hung out with them.
It's called the Wind Farm?
The Wind Farm, right there in Huntsville. The crown and jewel in Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Feds come there, and I think took about 330 people as jail, officers and inmates, for racketeering while in prison. Okay. I made a bunch of money on that unit. Yeah, but...
You didn't have to go to the feds with them?
No, I didn't get caught. Okay.
You escaped a few things. Huh?
I got away with quite a bit. God's been extremely good to me.
We're not going. I guess.
Well,
I try to give back now, you know, and be the best I can. But what I'm saying is there was knowledge on this unit that I couldn't have got no place else. This is why I said it was fun. And in dealing with these cats, you know, and these are street dudes, these seasoned street. But you got to realize back then, you had 3 different types of people in prison.
This is 89, 90, early 90s.
Well, you had 3
before they made the state jail.
Exactly. If you got one person that's going to break the law for a living, and their name is going to ring through the streets, they got a reputation. They're criminals.
Career criminals.
You got another person that does something out of passion, out of the heat of the moment, or something happens. He's not no criminal.
Right.
He just did something.
Right.
He's going to be quiet. He's going to do his time. You ain't got to worry about it. Then you got a person that's really, excuse that finger, you got a person that's really there that did not do something.
Just some innocent people.
That innocent people. They got those there too. But now, these characters, these flashy guys, you know, that was
career criminals.
Flavorful to me, you know, and just being up in the mix in it, and it really seasoned my game had I choose to go that way. I'm probably qualified enough to be a Baptist preacher. Nothing against preaching, but
Right.
you already know most criminals, when they get up behind that pulpit, that's organized Christianity.
He has all these conclusions.
Okay, that's just my
He
conclusion.
ain't gonna ride you there, but
Well,
that's all good.
your perception is
Exactly.
your reality.
Because most pimps make a graduation to pastorhood, and they just pimping the congregation instead of women now.
Well, you can't blanket statement it. You know, let's say
All right.
some, but not all.
Oh, you didn't like it when he made that
Well,
conclusion.
okay.
See, that's one of his
Well,
conclusions.
I would
That's a
agree with
conclusion.
it. I agree
Exactly.
with it
That's
that a lot of ministers
Exactly.
come from criminal backgrounds. Not all. So we can't just put a blanket over all of them.
and that's
That's why I
correct.
said his
That's correct.
conclusion.
I just be generalizing.
Yeah, he's a
That's
I don't mean to throw no rocks.
Okay.
And it's not that I'm against religion, because I do believe that our morals, and see, I ain't gonna say I'm anti-religious, but
You're conflicted.
I believe, no.
I see a conflict.
Okay, I believe in God. I don't believe in that BS that comes along.
You don't believe in organized religion.
I don't believe in that other stuff. Because you can't legislate morality.
Right.
I can't make you do what's right.
Right.
You have to choose. Right now, the only thing that keeps me correct is the fact that I choose to be correct.
Right.
And I'll die and go to hell about me doing what it is that I got. And there's no threat that you can give me
Right.
to make me do.
That's right.
Exactly. I have to choose to do it. That's why I believe the Spirit, whatever you call him, her, it, whatever you choose, that's why I believe good things come to me regularly. And I spent a lot of years trying to pay back, inconveniencing people.
How did you do that?
Well, if you stopped on the side of the road and I'm riding by, I'll stop what I'm doing.
And help
And see
someone
if I
on
can
the
assist
side
you.
of the road
Exactly.
where you used to take the car.
I remember one time I was walking down 1960, I'd had a wreck and I was coming from the doctor, and a lady
Now,
was
this
locked.
is before you got locked up or after?
This was before the '89.
Okay.
And a lady was locked out of a car. And I didn't steal a car. The reason I got dropped off at the doctor's office because I was going to steal a car on the way home. And I was walking, I had my screwdriver in my pocket, and she was locked out of her car. And just fortunately,
You know
I
how
said,
to
well,
break
I
in.
said, can I help you? She said, well, I locked my keys in the car. I said, well, if you don't mind, can I see? And I just pulled the window back and said, oh, how'd you do that? I said, well, man,
This is what I do. I'm a locksmith.
Exactly.
God turned my wounds
That's-
into wisdom.
Exactly,
no.
and that's God. That's God. So I didn't do no stealing. I went on, and after she was so thankful and this, that, and the other, I said, ma'am, you don't owe me nothing. I went on and
Stole a car.
No, I walked on to the house. I didn't do any dirt
You were
that
good
day.
that day. You felt good. You wanted to go to bed
Exactly.
purified.
Because
that night,
that's my-
sanctified.
My main objective in life as a human being, I do believe, is to extend myself to other human beings and be the best that I can be. Now, this is why stealing cars was against my morals, but my mind at that particular point, you see, my heart and mind were conflicted at the time because this system, I don't want to support it.
Right.
But I didn't realize at the time I'm still supporting it.
When you go to prison.
Yeah. Well.
Now tell me what made you, once you went to prison and you realized you're still supporting the system, tell me what that revelation was like in your mind.
Oh, that was a good thing. Because I'm not going to let prison do me. I'm going to do prison. I kept me 5 or 6 books going. I began to learn particular things and this, that, and other. And I said, well, okay, this little piece there, if I move some pieces, well, it gave me a very, very strange, right now, my mother, she loves me, but she don't like me all the time. Cause
She's still with us?
Yes.
What a blessing.
And she's still a beautiful person, but she loves me, but I'm hard.
shakes her
I'm
head
hard.
with her
I'm
son.
hard to
Y'all
deal with.
disagree it sometimes.
Well, yes, because she tells me that Jesus Christ is this, that, and the other, and he's living. I say, well, all right, next time you come talk to me about him, have him with you. Yeah. No, you just evil. Now, all these people, and most people in religion today, it's like, but we've been trained to do this. Our hypocrisy and our duality is kind of built into the society. See, we train from babies to do exactly, I'm a good Christian, but I'm gonna lay up with my wife, and I'm gonna lay up with my sister-in-law, and I'm gonna go tamper with my child, but I'm gonna slide into the front pew for 15 minutes on Sunday, say 2 amens and a Hail Mary, and somebody else now already died for my sin. Now I can go right back and do some more sinning.
Well, see, I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. But what I don't understand is how I see the whole world based on how a few people see the world.
And that's true.
Because when you mention Christians, there's more than Christians in the world.
Yeah.
And Christianity is not a religion, it's a belief. So how do you...
It's actually more Muslims and
Well,
Buddhists in the world.
Right.
than there are
And so again, like I said, I started off when me and you are the exact same age,
Mm-hmm.
and I was raised by a fanatical Christian mother. And I believe the reason why I turn away from Christianity is because of the people that I saw
Exactly.
in the Christian
And those are
community.
the ones I'm talking about.
But my perception was that they were supposed to be perfect and flawless,
Right.
which is something that none of us can ever become.
No.
But I put this belief that if you believe this, then you cannot have flaws and believe this. So I can be with my flaws and justify me doing wrong
Right.
based on you do wrong up under the banner of that you're good.
Right. And I understand that. And I don't make this, I don't say the things that I say to convict everyone, because I know that there are some decent people. And I believe that there are still some people who are really striving to do what's correct. Now, there's a difference between a mistake and a sin. Now, if God is all, nothing can be outside of all. That's why I don't mind going to hell, because hell is still within God. But if God is all, then we are all part of God, which means we're all interconnected. Now, if we're all interconnected, then we have to act in that manner. Now, if I step on your shoe accidentally, my job is to say, oh, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. I'm not going to repeat the behavior. But now, if I step on your shoe once, you say, hey, fool, my foot hurting. And I step on it again, hold on. You doing this deliberately. That's a sin. Because you're going back to the same thing that you understand what I'm saying? That's the differentiation.
Do you see the way you see things is right and the way this group of people are doing wrong? Or do you just have your belief system and allow other people to have theirs?
Yes, I do.
Do you draw a conclusion that one is right and one's wrong?
Well, no, because situational ethics again. What could be right to me could be wrong to you, because you could have been and done something to me and I'm finna bust your head wide open. That's wrong to you. It wasn't wrong when you did what you did, but when you got to pay, and see, that's where folks become, but that's what I call situational ethics. It is
situational ethics.
when it happens.
When it benefits you,
exactly.
see it your way.
That's all I'm saying.
But I think what Danny's trying to figure out is, can you see that if people disagree with you, they can still be right,
yes,
and you can be
exactly.
right. And I think
but
y'all saying the same thing.
They'll never let me be right.
No, I can't.
Well,
not you.
I'm not saying you.
Right,
No,
right,
I'm just generalizing.
Yeah.
Not
You asked him generally. You didn't ask him about you.
See,
Yeah.
you haven't graduated. Some people go grab hold of this religion. And now, and here's my ideology. If I didn't have to pay by going to prison, I'd probably still be stealing cars.
Right.
But now, since somebody else has already died for my sins.
And you paid with 19 years.
I did mine. But see now, and I'm saying some people, and this is just people, this is not everybody. But now, if my gang was a Christian gang, I'd kick them bad seeds out of there. You can't come to church with me doing the thing that you're doing, and continually doing it, because you're not trying to change. But now, the ideology that someone else has already laid down their life for what I'm going to do, that kind of gives me the impetus to do anything with impunity.
And that's an interpretation. And it can be distorted.
Exactly.
It can be distorted.
That's all I'm saying.
And I think the way you're phrasing it intentionally is distorted.
Exactly.
Because he didn't lay down his life, even in the belief we have, for us to continue to sin.
Yeah.
It's just that.
But that's what we use it for.
That when we repent, our sins are forgiven.
Okay.
Okay.
I can
but
agree
when
with
we
that.
repent, our
but then
sins
we
are
stop
forgiven.
sinning. We're supposed to. We're supposed to at least try.
Well,
some of us don't try.
Married and still go see your girlfriend
That's it.
every day.
That's it. Some of us don't try.
Yeah,
that's all I'm
they're
saying.
just gonna have a girlfriend. They're gonna substitute that girlfriend for another girlfriend. And I know what you're saying about the redundant behavior, and said, "I'm sorry. Well, God's forgiven me," and it's like almost like I got to pass.
That's it. And it's like just to take it, just to, I think a shining example of what I'm really trying to say. Bishop Eddie Long, right? How can I say that I'm sitting back giving you my money to fly little boys around and eat them up, and you leading the charge?
But we need examples of see, I think, and when I look at Bishop Eddie Long, and it bothered me.
He did die, right?
Right.
Yeah, he died.
But I look at.
But he never went to prison.
But I look at God as saying, look, if I don't give you examples of the bad in the world,
exactly,
how do you appreciate the good?
And I understand that.
So we need the bad here to appreciate what's good.
Yeah, but now look at us now, our babies, like the girl, and I feel so sorry for her, the one who stabbed the little 4-year-old to death. All right, the fella who walking, the 10-month-old gets shot while in. Come on, we've lost our mind.
We've lost our mind.
We done lost our mind.
With violence, we've lost our mind.
And we just getting our Jerry Springer on. We were getting our Maury on. We just buck wild. And believe it or not, I think every civilization that has reached its zenith about where we are now is when the demise came about.
So
we don't think we can fall.
Turn this trajectory around.
Exactly. We don't.
The way that we're going. I do understand because I get the feeling because we've lost confidence in our leaders.
Exactly.
When that happens. That is
because our leaders are jokes.
It's a moral dilemma.
But can we look at history though?
But this is what I'm trying to do. Okay. One of the reasons why I left private practice after 22 years and went back to the district attorney's office is because I do believe in hope, and I do believe that some people have to walk the walk and talk the talk.
And I heard you say that the other night, and I really appreciate
a sacrifice for other human beings. I mean, Kim Ogg won, and many of us who went back with her, she's a community servant, and we believed in her vision. And we can't do it on a national level, but we can try to do it on a local level. So, I mean, all we can do is try.
Exactly.
And I want to be a part of the trying. I mean, like, I've done this show for years. It's because I'm trying. I mean, I might die tomorrow, but at least I tried.
You gave it your best shot.
I gave it my best shot. I did what I could do to try to educate people about the system so that they can participate in a meaningful way. I'm not telling you how to participate, but I'm just telling you to participate.
If it stimulates your thought, then I've done my job.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly.
When I tried to contact Devin Anderson, after Mike Anderson died, they put her in because he was her husband. We got the sympathy. She took over this. I tried to contact her, and I told her, look here, I got this problem.
Right.
All right, well, I ain't got time for your problem, fool. I'm trying to put some other people in, And this is what I'm saying. There are people who are in position to do what is correct.
But I'm going to just tell you this on the parole issue. I can't answer it as a prosecutor. I couldn't answer it when I was a defense attorney because I didn't study the parole code, which is the parole laws in the government code. I focused on the penal code and the code of criminal procedure. But I'm just saying, I don't know I don't think we have anything to do with the parole department in the DA's office.
You don't.
We don't.
Here is what is happening.
So what did you expect that she could do?
Here is what is happening. Well, had she simply had a forum that I could have brought this problem to, maybe there are some people who will come back. Now, I took this to every level of our state court, right? I took it to, now, this time was given to me by administrative fiat, right? They're telling me that when I got out on parole, the time I did on parole, which I'm still in custody on parole, it's already Supreme Court law that you're in custody. All right, I've never been out of the custody of the state of Texas for the entire 25 years. The judge gave me one 25-year sentence, not to be done in increments and broke up and put pieces here and now, or to be extended. Now, what they're saying is that when I got out on parole, when I went back on violation, they took the time I stayed on parole and added it to the end of the sentence. Not what they said, we took your street time. I said, well, all right, when was the last time you took a quart of milk from a gallon of milk and come out with a gallon and a half? But they think, that's you crazy, But I'm not, because you have extended the sentence. Now, they're continually saying in this federal thing, we didn't extend the sentence. Yes, you did. Anything that takes it past this
25 years,
that extends it.
You're past the 25 years.
It's simple as that. Now, I'm not saying this from a selfish perspective, because every day I do in prison, laying up, having fun, reading books, this, that, and other, it's some money out of your pocket. Some money out of his pocket, some money out of the pockets of every taxpayer in this state.
And the thing that's so horrible for you to do 19 years and you haven't stolen a car in 30 years is that it's a nonviolent crime.
Exactly.
In fact, when they first made state jails in '94, auto theft became a state jail felony because it's a nonviolent crime.
That's what I'm saying.
Auto theft, crack, underground, forgery. So they made it something that they only wanted you to do 2 years, and for you to do 25 years.
And then another 8.
And then another 8, all from violations. Technical violations. It does seem egregious.
But what is
I don't know who the forum is for you to do that if you can't find a good parole lawyer, which costs a lot of money, and you're not living a life of crime, so you can't afford it.
But you know something?
What's that?
You believe in God, I believe. The spirit, this spirit, this all-encompassing spirit, enlightened my mind and sent me to those books while I was down. And I guess I'm a bigger threat when I'm incarcerated than I am here, because there's more distractions, there's more Jerry Springer out here. When all I got to do is put in I-60 to go to the law library, and I was about to kill this thing, and I have to refile it You know,
well, you can still go to the library.
Yeah. But it's so.
It's hard to get
I'm so
there.
stretched out now. You know, it used to be I just be in my cell and I just wait and go and eat and this and then I go to the library.
You have to have some discipline.
You know, and it takes, but now
there are free libraries here at TSU.
Yes,
U of H,
and I've been there.
South Texas.
I've been there. I've used TSU.
We have 2 minutes.
Oh,
So, Danny, be thinking about your wrapped up story. This 1 hour goes by really quickly.
Yeah, it did go by.
Commercials.
And I really enjoyed y'all company.
Thank you. Thank you. So, have you gotten from this experience what you expected, Johnathan?
Well, yes, because at least you sit back and you listen, you know, and you understood. See, and that's my biggest problem is I guess my mind moves a little bit faster, you know, and I have to kind of stop sometimes and wait and drag the others along. And I feel guilty if I can't bring them with me, if I can't get the point across, because it's not about me. There's about 15,000 other guys out of the 200,000 that are probably still under the same old law that I'm under. And this same garbage is going on with them. Now, at any time, you can come snatch these people up and put these people over, but and the sentence was supposed to have been over with. To me,
how many more years do you have on parole?
Until 2022, so that's another 5. Okay, that's legalized slavery to me, and it's as if, you know, they talking about trafficking, human trafficking. You move me from one unit to the next in order to provide money for these different people.
Especially when it's nonviolent, it's auto theft with nobody there. I mean, for 19 years to do 19 real years and to extend it for your whole life. Oh
and see, I got to be more violent in prison, because if I don't, then
you're not gonna live.
So I got to be over the top violent with officers and inmates, and so why would you put me in a situation to force me to commit a crime?
1 minute, Danny. You want to say something? You're right. And you want to say something? We got 1 minute.
Okay.
You want to say something to wrap it up?
Well, I want to thank you, Vivian, for giving returning citizens, formerly incarcerated men, a platform to share our experiences. You let us come from the cage and let us be on the stage. And you know what? I really thank you for having the courage to come and tell your real truth, man. It was a joy to meet you. And I believe that we owe society a great deal of gratitude. And it humbled me to be able to come back out and to be given a second chance and opportunity. And Ms. King is not the only person out here that has given our lives some type of honor. And so again, Vivian, we just want to thank you for giving us this platform.
Well, I thank you for appreciating the platform that I've given you, and I appreciate, Johnathan, for you calling the Truth and Justice office and asking to tell your story. Sometimes when people live interesting lives like you, and have a lot to say, we invite you back. And hopefully, maybe in another 3-4 months, would you come back and tell us part 2?
Sure thing.
You got you got 19 years in prison that you've never told us. We want to know the in-prison story.
Well, hopefully by then I'll have some legal evidence to bring, saying that I'm chipping away at this problem.
All right, I'm being told to wrap it up. Thank you for watching Truth and Justice with Vivian King. It's July 5th, 2017. How time flies. Good night, and I hope you watch us again in 2 weeks. We're on every 2-week schedule now. So please watch us and watch reruns of us. We appreciate your support. Good night.
And the music plays.
Thank you for tuning in.